Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Jesus. Welcome to the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. Uh-oh. Welcome to the Mimi Show. Uh-oh. Hello, hello. Let me play my song.
I built this website in 5 minutes with Wix Harmony. So I came
Why
across this
does it
image
do
recently and I thought to
that?
myself, what if I built an entire brand around this?
Okay, I know what's wrong. YouTube. Why is that doing that? Hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna get a new. Hold on, this is what we're gonna do. Fanadoos. Fanadoo. Oh, Fanadoos. Hello, Snowdrop. Welcome in, sweetheart. What's up with you? Lady Letitia, you been having Fanadoo little bit free dates to do. Yes, girlfriend. Little bit is at Mama's house. Mama's. Mama's house. She'll be home tomorrow. Oh, little bit. I talked to her today. Can you see my avatar? Can you see my picture? I don't have my face up. I got my picture up. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Fana Jews, we got a lot to get to. There's an update on Nolan. There's an update on Nancy Guthrie. I believe Savannah wanted to say something new about the case and plead to the kidnappers or anybody that knows something to let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. All right, Snowdrop. Oh, all right. But before we get started, I think we need some Fanadoos. Wow, where is Lady Letitia? Am I logged in? Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me try this. Sign out. Sign in. Lady Letitia. Oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay. Hold on. It's always something. Don't be tardy for the party. Uh-oh, whoa, whoa. Don't be tardy for the party. Hold on, guys. I'm having technical difficulties. Sign out. Sign back in. Don't be tardy for the party. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't be tardy for the party. All right, here we go. Ooh. All right, all right, all right. Don't be tardy for the party. Tardy for the party. All right, here we go. Let's start with Nolan, okay? Now, we watched a little bit of this last night,
friends talk,
but unfortunately, hubby was snoring. Okay, let me put on my song. Oh, let's hear. Hold on. Let's be tardy for the party. Don't be taught. Massive cover up. Massive cover up. Do you hear that, guys? A massive cover up. Whoa, let me tell you. They're trying to cover up Nolan's. They're trying to cover up Nolan's. The housewife. Don't be tardy for the party. Don't be tardy for the party. Party for the tardy for the party. Tardy for the party. Okay, hold on. Post. Okay, here it is. Let's do the Xanadu song.
I've never seen a crown up close, but Lady Lottie shares the most. Sipping tea and watching all the royal moves unfold. She's got stories, she's got grace, got a smile upon her face, and a heart that's made of 24
carat gold.
She says, gather round my
Fan of
dues. I got some royalty for you. And if you'd like, please subscribe or do tonight. Everybody sing along. Nothing here can go too wrong. We're just laughing while the comment section writes. Oh, oh, she keeps it classy, classy. Oh, oh, never looking flashy, flashy. Oh, she's got a channel full of cheer. Lady Lottie shines, queen of the tea time show. Fan of who's all gather when it's time to go. Subscribe and do ring that bell if you want to. She's got a little bit of joy for you. And she don't care who's famous in the magazine. She's got class and that's enough if you know
what I mean.
Lady Lottie shines, everybody sing it loud. She's got the
Royalty and the very loyal crowd.
Woo!
Woo! Snowdrop!
Lady Lottie Shash makes new friends, giving voices to the stories.
It was the worst. Tardy for the party.
Every chat, she's got time for all of that. Cause her kindness shines brighter than a vault of gold. And a
bitch she loves so much.
You can see it in
her gentle touch.
Talking proudly every single chance
She gets.
If you ask her what she's about, she'll probably laugh and shout. And who's we ain't done having fun yet. Oh, she keeps it
classy.
Classy. Never looking flashy. Everybody
She was.
Lady Lottie
Tisha. Stop, Lisa, Lisa. You at work, Lisa, Lisa. Bit of joy for you.
And she don't care
who's
famous in the
magazine.
She's got class and that's enough if you know what I mean. Lady Lottie Shaz, everybody sing it loud. She's got the royalty
And a very loyal crowd.
What? We're spilling tea. We're laughing at
The royalty. Oh, and I got some news about the royals.
We're reading news and hanging with the
Okay, Lisa, thanks for the support.
Lady keeps the good vibes.
Love the support over here
With a heart
of gold.
for young.
You know,
Helps the untold
stories get told. Lady.
Lottie Shaz, queen of the tea time show. When it's time to go, subscribe if you want to.
Lady Latisha's got a little.
Lady Lottie Shaz, everybody sing along. Tea is hot, but the kindness is strong. That's the motto that we know, Lady
Latisha's got a little bit of gold. All right, that is the fan dues. Okay, let's get to it. TMZ, Nancy Grace, and everybody that you can think of is reporting on Nolan. There was a video, audio released yesterday on Nolan talking about, you could hear in the background his friends trying to see if Nolan is okay. Instead of calling the Coast Guard or calling for help, they tried to cover it up. He was on the boat. Listen to the audio. It says, Nolan, is he dead? Nolan, wake the fuck up. Is he breathing? Is Nolan okay? Let's hear what they got to say.
About him and talking about him possibly being dead while they were on their way back to the mainland from Horn Island. This is all because of some audio that we got from officials down in Mississippi. This audio is a call that's being made from the boat that Nolan's friends were on. So after they're on Horn Island on July 4th, at the end of the day, about 4:30, they decide they're heading back to the mainland. And the owner of that boat, or the grandson of the owner, who's driving the boat, realizes that they are taking on water. The bilge pump isn't working, so he places a call to a tow company called Sea Tow. And while he's on that call, there is a lot of commotion going on. And what people think is that in the background of that call, you can hear someone say, "Is he dead? Nolan." Oh my God. It's really hard to make out. This
No,
is
it's
what
not.
it sounds like.
CISO assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? Albert, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
No, we do not need.
Here's the thing. It is not difficult. Hello, Pickles. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is not hard to figure that out. That it's not difficult to understand what they are saying. They're calling out Nolan's name. They're asking him, is he dead? There was an accident on the boat on the way home, and Nolan was a part of the accident. Something happened. And they're trying to cover it up. And the first two people that tried to cover this up was Grandpa and their grandfather. He knew what happened on that boat. They called his grandfather and told him what was going on. He told the Coast Guard, nothing's wrong with them, nothing to see here, they're fine. Now, these are all the things that happened up to this event. Now, remember when the stepmother got sprung into gear and started making moves that showed the guys being guilty? She wrote a letter, a statement on behalf of the boys. Word on the curb, they scrubbed, the boat was scrubbed clean. Also, I heard that that same boat was taken back out on the water that day. Something ain't smelling right in Mississippi. Mississippi, you smell like a rotten egg. You're not going to be able to get away with it. He was on the boat. They said Nolan. Is he dead? Who are they talking about? Who are they talking about that's dead? And why would they talk about anybody being dead, unalived? It's clear something happened on that boat on the way back to their home destination. All of a sudden, they had boat trouble. And when they had boat trouble, they called in to their member group and told them, hey, we need help. We're going down by the head. We're in 30 feet of water. That's quite a bit of water. But the grandfather calls in to the Coast Guard and specifically says, nothing to see here. They're fine. Everything is going perfect. We're good. We're not good. Nolan isn't doing good on the boat. You can hear them talking about Nolan, to Nolan, trying to revive Nolan, trying to figure out what's going on with Nolan. And everyone on that boat didn't see nothing. The story ain't storying it. And you cannot tell me that they interviewed everyone on that boat. And then they said, oh, nothing to see here. And you mean to tell me you guys had this footage of them saying Nolan? Is he dead? They're not talking about the boat. They didn't say, is the boat dead? No. Let's get this straight. They were panicking in the background, trying to figure out what they were going to do with Nolan. Some idiot decided it would be a good idea to cover this up instead of telling the truth. Michelle, hello, Maureen. Welcome in, sweetheart. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Hello, Michelle Lee. Welcome in, sweetheart. Hello, Letitia. I've been checking, just coming back inside from cutting hedges. Oh, cooling off. Stay cool, Michelle Lee. And finally catching alive since a few days. The humidity, heat, and sweat inside to cool off. I'm just curious what state or city you live in, because I live in Texas, and let me tell you something. It is hot as Hades out there. Not that I know what Hades is like, but it is hot as all get out. It's so nice you out in the garden and doing gardening. Oh, it sounds so relaxing. I know, Maureen. Hasn't it been wonderful watching Auntie Mickey's lives? They're so thorough and informative. Yep, I think I seen you up there, sweetheart. Hello, Lily. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I want to know you guys' take on this boat situation. And you can clearly hear, I played it last night on the Nancy show. Do you want me to play the Nancy show? Here, let me play. The Nancy show really gives it out. TMZ is trying to figure things out. Nancy Grace brought it home. Let's play it. Let's play it, Nancy.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
Breaking news tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation. Enhanced distress call audio bombshell.
Hi, Juanita.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
What happened to Nolan?
Down on the beach right at the water's edge.
If he was sent face down, that also doesn't make sense to me. If he's face down, wouldn't blood pool just by nature of gravity this way?
So right now, we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what
Hi, Demon
happened?
Dictator. Welcome in, sweetheart. It's been a while.
Cecil Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Down that also nature of gravity this way.
Listen to the background and look at my computer. Look at the words on the computer.
So right now, we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Yes, Nancy. Sure he's dead? Is he dead? Nolan! Don't die!
Now we've got a long investigation.
Child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Sure he's dead? Is he dead? Nolan! Oh my God! Nolan! Don't die!
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
Investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is it coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What did you say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up?
Doesn't it sound like the person on the phone trying to let the dispatcher know that he's in a distress call? Doesn't he seem distracted about what's going on around him in the background? He's distracted. Something has gone down on this boat, and Nolan was on the boat on the way home. They didn't leave Nolan on the island. That disputes that right away. Now, what story is there going to come up with to explain the fact that Nolan was on the boat? I don't believe there was an accident. Ooh. Attention, says Marine. I don't believe there was an accident. I think Nolan was deliberately unalived. Oh, snap-a-doolittle. The reason being, they were jealous of his looks and success. Yes, Marine, that could be true. Something could have happened, foul play. It went wrong really quick. Good observation. I think Auntie Mickey said that as well. She believes that too, Marine. So both of you believe the same scenario. I believe something happened on the boat or with these guys, and I don't know what happened, but something happened, and he was on the boat. Okay? What's up, Demon Dictator? I heard Meghan was on the Master Chef situation. We will be getting to that shortly. Juanita said, I think those so-called friends are trying to cover up what happened. I do too. And what I do know for a fact, and what we all should know as a fact, is that Nolan was on that boat on the way home. That's for sure. They didn't leave him on no island. It's clear as day, this recording. This is the smoking gun. This right here opened that bust case to me wide freaking open. You can clearly hear these kids in the background. And like Cece sent me something yesterday where there was this voice analysis person that you can scrub all that stuff from the background, make it louder so you can hear the audio, and you will be able to make out what was said by each person. Forensics is able to do extra work on finding out what these guys were saying in the background. But we know what was said. We know there was foul play. He's distracted. The guy on the phone talking to the dispatcher is distracted by what's going on in the background, not the water, because you don't hear the kids in the background panicking about the boat going down or the water in the boat, because there was no water in the boat. They were panicking over Nolan's situation. And then when they were panicking over Noah's situation, they began to start lying and trying to figure out a way to get out of this situation, which is the worst thing to try to do. You can't cover up a crime. You can't cover up a body. You can't cover up the fact that Nolan left with you to get to the island, and he came back with you. But something happened on that boat, and you guys are lying. Remember the interview that young man just recently did that Auntie Mickey showed us? Hello, Lisa B is in the house. I got all my mods in the house. The mods are in the house. Hey, the mods are in the house. The support is supporting it today. I tell you the truth. Let's see what else is going on. They call for help, but sounds like someone stopped them and changed the narrative. That's right, Snowdrop. When he was on the phone with the dispatcher, they were telling him then, don't say anything about Nolan. Just say we're taking on water. Why call anyway if you know you're not taking on water? No, something was going down on that boat. The guy decided to call, and then when he got on the phone, he decided, oh, I'm not going to tell them what's going on with Nolan. Somebody may have been able to save his life if they had act accordingly. But no, these childlike mind grown-ups, adults, because that's what they are, 17 and 18, many adults, decided to cover this up. And they didn't think it was going to make national news. They thought this would be like, oh, okay, let's just see if we can cover this up and move on and continue to live our lives as normal. Why nobody knows what happened to Nolan. It's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. A whole person has been unalived during the time he was with you guys. Okay? On that boat. And you're lying about Nolan being left behind. And the girl that he was supposedly been left behind with said, no. On the contrary, he was trying to make sure he didn't get left behind. Nolan was trying to make sure he caught his ride back. That's what she said. No. He was clear that he had to go with his friends. Her sister even came out and testified to that as well. That Nolan did not stay behind, nor did he stay behind for a girl. a woman, a lady, whatever you want to call her. Maureen says, exactly. They can isolate the sound of the background. That's what they need to do.
Sir.
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going.
I don't know.
What did we?
I don't know. We're just thinking. I don't know. Hello? What do you mean you don't know? Either you are or you're not. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. No, what's going on is you got someone on your boat that is non-responsive. And you're trying to cover it up. And now you didn't got caught. They cannot explain away that Nolan was not on the boat if they're calling his name. And someone was on that boat in duress. Someone was on that boat in duress. And here's the thing. The person that's missing is Nolan. Put 2 to 2 together. Wouldn't that been Nolan that was in duress? In distress? Something ain't smelling right in Mississippi. Okay?
Just here. What was that? One more time, please.
Cecil Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the West.
That is in dispute. You can't even dispute that. You can't dispute him telling them in the background, oh, Nolan, don't die, Nolan. Is he dead? So you mean to tell me, after all of this, that they didn't interview these people, and when they interviewed them, all the stories checked out? No. And everybody, all 7 of them were in agreement that we're going to hide his death? Let's hide it. Let's pretend we know nothing about it. He stayed on the island, but you had his phone? What are you doing with Nolan's phone? Wouldn't it be on him? Or would it be with the people that did something nefarious to him? Guys, hello, CC's in the house. CC's in the house. Okay, sweetheart. I hope everything goes well with your appointment. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. That's right, CC. I was telling them that you sent me something yesterday that was really good, the voice analysis. And there was this lady on there talking about how you're able to get a clear sound about what was said in the background. But let's just be honest with each other here. We all heard it. We know what we heard. We're not stupid. We heard someone say, is he dead? That was clear. And Nolan, don't die, Nolan. What happened on the boat? Tune the News. Hello, Tune the News. Welcome. It's so good to see you as always. Welcome. Michelle Lee said, I previously commented 2 theories. Nolan dead on boat, dumped ashore later, then they cleaned the boat that night. That's one for me. That's what I believe happened. Nolan was on that boat. Something nefarious happened on that boat. They covered it up. Later on that night, they dumped his body. Daddy never cleaned the boat after we came back from fishing on riding on the golf. Look at that. Michelle Lee said her daddy ain't never came home cleaning no boat. And I've been on boats too, Michelle Lee. And my friends, when we docked and got off the boat, I don't remember them cleaning up the boat, especially that day. Nope, something ain't smelling right in Mississippi. Hello, Andrea. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you, girlfriend. I know, Snowdrop. I know. They did isolate the sound, LL. That link I text you is where they isolated the noise. Which one? The one with the black lady and the black gentleman? I didn't hear it, Cece. I watched it. Here, let me pull it up. Let's see, you texted to me. Wow. Cece said she sent me one. Here it is right here. Is there a timestamp, Cece, that I could go to? Because I don't want to have to watch the whole thing. Yes, unless they hit him with something, Marine. I know that's right, Cece. We heard what was said. Hashtag. We heard it. We did hear it. And we're disturbed behind it. To me, this is a break in the case. Yes, they are, Juanita. They're covering it up. But how can they continue to do that when we're starting to see the truth?
Tip of porn and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is it coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
Hello? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigative reporter Crime Stories, Dave Mack. Did you just hear what I heard? Now, this has been transcribed, and this is the CTO dispatch call. Because, Dave, when I first heard this, I thought, has this been doctored? Is this real? Where's this coming from, Dave?
Nancy, this is coming from from Mississippi, from the actual official. Okay, when we get into the Mississippi Fish and Wildlife and the reserve putting this out for the public, this is not like from Dave Mack's recording. This is an official recording, Nancy, that is being issued, and it's shocking when you listen to this call for a tow, for the CTO. Going further into it, Nancy, you're picking apart all of the different voices that can be heard on this one phone call, trying to determine what is really taking place on this boat that is allegedly sitting in 31 feet of water, a depth of 31 feet. And a bilge pump not working, claiming they're sinking, and calling for help. And yet in the background? Are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Guys, this was released from the MDMR, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Alexis Tereshchuk joining us out of LA, just joining us now, Crime Stories investigative reporter as well. Alexis, the transcription, I want you to listen to it, Alexis, as we play it again. This is obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. It's not something we just found on TikTok. Listen.
Nolan!
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey,
Listen.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is it coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Okay, Alexis Tereshchuk, jump in.
So it sounds like before the woman starts talking, the operator, everyone in the background is saying, "Is he dead? Nolan, wake the f-" up." And so they are concerned about Nolan. They're saying, literally, "Is he dead?" Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead on the boat. This is the first time that we are hearing this.
What is the chance that this has been doctored in some way, Alexis Tereshchuk? Because circulating on the internet was a scene where another young man was face down being attacked on the sand. That was not Nolan Wells. That's not Nolan Wells. Repeat. So there are bottom feeders that are fabricating evidence and circulating.
Yes, that is true. Fabricating, making it up. Just like when he sat down with one of the boys the other day that Auntie Mickey was playing on her live. They were fabricating a story, making it up. We left Nolan on the island. The last time I seen Nolan was at 3. No. If you left at 4:30 and you were letting him know that you were leaving at 4:30, then 4:30 would have been the last time you saw Nolan. But that is not when the last time you saw Nolan. Nolan was on the boat with all of you guys, and something nefarious happened. And then it got serious. And here's the thing. They can't determine the cause of death. Why? I just, I get it. But was there any bruising? Let's finish. How far am I? 10 more minutes on Nolan, and then we're going to move to Nancy Grace. There's been some information on Nancy. Nancy's daughter, Savannah, has came out and made a statement recently, and we're going to watch her plead to the kidnappers. It's been 6 months. Nancy Guthrie's case is 6 months old, but here's the deal. Somebody needs to be arrested for this Nolan case. And it was those boys on that boat. And what I don't understand is how come there hasn't been an arrest or somebody of interest, or it's just obvious that this is a cover-up. And I'm outraged behind the cover-up. He was a kid, Marine. His life was just beginning. Very bizarre phone call. They can't rule out foul play. But the sheriff, the detective, the investigator on the case ruled it out an hour after and said, nothing to see here, nothing to believe that there was any foul play or anything that went wrong here. Yes, there was. Put it this way, 7 guys go out on the boat, but only 6 return. Make that make sense. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of Cece's live that she sent me. And this is supposed to be a more cleared up version of the audio. Let's see.
So real quick before we listen to this whole thing, one thing is for sure, all right. I think it's very, very important that we, of course, listen, in our own discretion, and then think independently for yourself on what's going on here, because I feel like here's the thing: it's kind of the Laurel Yanny situation. You know, that viral video where people were like, or that viral audio, people were like, do you hear Yanny? Do you hear Laurel? Right? And when you're literally looking at the word, you hear the word Laurel. If you look at the word Yanny, then you're hearing Yanny. It's kind of weird like that.
No, I'm
right?
hearing Nolan.
And so I feel like that
Is
can
he
also
dead?
be something where you're listening to, you're reading on the screen what they believe is being said. So you automatically think, yes, that's what's being said. I'm just saying that out loud, not sitting here saying that I don't believe this woman's hard work is true or not, but I'm just saying, listen and come to your own conclusion, right? So let's take a listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up!
Okay. So I know that there's been a lot of people side-eyeing the Bart situation. Okay. So I know that there's been a lot of people side-eyeing the Bart situation. Bart.
Come, we have a membership. Stopped working. We're
But I'm just saying, listen and come to your own conclusion, right? So let's take a listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up!
Okay. So I know that there's been a lot of people side-eyeing the Bart situation. Bart, with his name being mentioned in there. But I want to play one more time so you guys can hear this again. All right. So, and of course, the words, I know that they're very, very small on the screen. But let me see. Can I? Nope, I can't blow this up.
Wow, I
you'll
can't
see for yourself. You'll hear for yourself what's going on here. But I think that it's very interesting that that's being said. But I also want to say this too. Listen to how calm the voices are. But then you're also hearing them talking about him being gone, like have that he perished, right? There's no panic in the voice, but that they could just be up to something sinister. That's possible. I don't know. Like I said, I'm sitting on the fence with this one because, yeah, this is just very interesting. But take a listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Hmm.
Shut the fuck up!
Interesting. I will say this, okay? Everyone should listen to it, come to your own conclusion. It's kind of hard to make out everything, but then you have an expert going through it and listening to it and going, yo, what I hear is something sinister. So I leave that up to you guys, okay? I just think that there's
Thank you, CC, for that. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Nancy Guthrie, okay? And I just got through talking to Auntie Mickey. Auntie Mickey knows what's going on. She was going to go live last night, but something came up. And so she may be live tonight. If she is, I will be watching it because she's got the juice, okay? Oh, Maureen said she gets what this guy is saying. You want to listen to a little bit more? Here, I'll turn it back.
things that could be misconstrued because the audio is so jacked up. But I'm saying right now, the fact that their friend is gone, if he was gone, and that was being heard in the background in this audio, there's no panic at all. There's just no panic. And that's still possible.
I heard panic.
They literally could be like, just...
Nolan, don't die. Is he going to die? I heard panic.
A whole bunch of sociopaths. You know what I'm saying? Or they're so drunk that they don't give two damns about this young man's livelihood.
Ooh.
But what say you guys? I think this is very interesting audio. We will be talking about this tomorrow for sure in a live, because even Nancy Grace is talking about this audio. And she had a lot of very interesting things to say about this audio too. I don't think she's side-eyeing the hell out of these kids and side-eyeing the hell out of this dispatch call. And some people are saying that the dispatch call is fake. That this call, they did a real phone call, because obviously there's audio, but there was no real emergency, that there was no real concern for anything. But like I said, that's just what people are assuming. That's what people are saying in these streets. But I did want to share with you guys that extracted audio. I know a lot of you guys were asking for that. What say you guys? Do you think something else is going on here? Do you think that's what they're saying in the dialogue in the background, or no? All I'm saying is it doesn't sound like there's much panic. If their friend, who they say that they love and care for, and it's his best friend, like a brother to them, all that, if he's dead, I feel like there would be much more panic going on in the background. Even when they're saying, can we cover it up? You know, like what's being alleged that's being heard in the audio. It just sounds like it's like they're moving furniture or something like that. You know what I mean? Should we put the couch over there? Yeah, let's just put it over there. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Very nonchalant. Except in the end where you hear, get the F up. Nolan, get the F up. You see what I'm saying? That only sounded like concern. But that could also be because the boat is sinking and Nolan's trying to get with a girl, and they're like, yo, I need you to focus. I need you to get up here and get on the damn boat. But that's just a question I have for you guys. What say you guys? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like, hit the follow.
All right. There was a section before this. This lady was talking about the audio. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear that. Otherwise, we're going to move on to Nancy. And she talks about the audio a little bit more in depth. Put a 2 in the chat if we move on to Nancy. Nancy. Okay, Marine wants to hear it. Okay. Hold on, Marine.
Like, it's good to hear. Woo, doggy.
BASC techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement.
So she did it straight up analog. All right. No, nothing enhanced except by her own hand and her own expertise. I bet.
My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the C-tow dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present.
And I also think that, some is being heard instead of actually hearing the author.
Processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation.
Fair enough.
And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using simply time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally. Wow. And I needed to take a mental break.
Wow. Oh, snap. And she's sitting there listening to it all. You know what I'm saying? And like combing through it, word for word, see what's going on here.
But I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occur very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want a reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps.
So real quick.
Okay, so then we played it, and I could hear it a little bit more, but the bottom line is that I know Wild Marine, some foul play going on that boat, and Nolan was on that boat on the way home with them guys, and something happened. Okay, let's check on Nancy. Now, word on the curb. Not much is going on with Nancy Adu. Hold on. Whoa. Don't be tardy for the party. Be tardy for the party. It's very sad what's going on with Nolan. And I really do believe that this audio should open this case wide open. Wide open. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Nancy.
Today marks 177 days since Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her Catalina Foothills home. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney. Earlier today, Nancy's daughter and Today Show host Savannah Guthrie posting a new video on Instagram, pleading for anyone with information on Nancy's whereabouts to please come forward. News for Tucson's Eric Fink is live.
Now, this story is so bizarre. They took this lady out of her home in the middle of the night, and nobody has seen her. Nobody has seen Nancy in 6 months. The incompetent investigators in this case.
Pima County Sheriff's Department tonight with more on Savannah's message. Eric.
Sean, it's hard to believe, but this coming Saturday marks 6 months since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. And today, Savannah taking to Instagram to plea with her mother's abductor to come forward and bring her home.
For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home.
84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home in the Catalina Foothills in the middle of the night on February 1st. Her family and her community right here in Tucson have been searching for answers since the news broke on that Sunday night back in February. On February 10th, the FBI released that chilling image of the masked suspect on the front porch of Nancy's home. Tens of thousands of tips have come into the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI. I spoke with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos earlier today. You're going to hear from him in a moment. And as we come up on 6 months since her mother vanished, Savannah today spoke directly to her mother's captor.
So I'm asking you, begging you, to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end.
It's the same message we had day one. We're working this as hard as we can. There's no lead too small. We, like Savannah today, we encourage you. If you know something, you saw something, please call us. Let us know.
Sheriff Nano says he and his team talk to the FBI every day about this case. There is still that more than $1 million reward for the recovery or the return of Nancy. Reporting live here on the South Side tonight, I'm Eric Fink, News 4, Tucson.
Thank you, Eric, and for our continuing coverage on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Be sure and stay with News 4 Tucson on air, online, and on all of our social media platforms.
Yikes, a bombshell royal world exclusive. Whoa. Joining me now, ex-Daily Mail journalist Sarah Louise Robertson. Sarah Louise, good to see you.
Wow, guys, poor Nancy is still missing. It's a shame. Shame, shame, shame. Poor Nancy.
Today marks 177 days since Nancy Guthrie was...
Oh, Nancy. So, guys, still no word, you know? All that evidence these people had, and they have nothing. No suspects, nothing. Make that make sense. Let me see what my chat has to say. Rest in peace, Nancy. Hello, Daisy Lee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They can't rule out foul. This is so good. I love the participation in the chat. I do. That's what I did too, Maureen. I closed my eyes and I just listened to it just to drown out everything. Did it help you? You still can't make it out? Well, I can hear her when she says, "Is he dead?" I heard that part. And I heard Nolan. So, is he dead? And Nolan makes me believe that Nolan was on that boat and that they believe that he was not alive. Oh, yeah, she was. That's pretty, Daisy Lee. I like that. I mean, what Cece would do. Tune the news is in the house. We're praying for you, Nancy, and the family. We're praying for you, girl. We're sorry that the poor daughter still holds out hope. I know. I don't believe that Nancy is alive, though. I don't. That's probably the only way she can hold on to her sanity. Exactly, Maureen. This story is so sad. I would never sleep again if one of my parents went missing. I know. Because you're thinking the whole time, what's going on? Where they at? Where's my parents? What did they do to them? Are they alive or not? You know? And like she's still holding out hope to believe that there is hope that our mom could still be alive, but I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I'm like Daisy Lee. Rest in peace, Nancy. All right, we're going to move on from Nancy. That was all I had about her. Let's move on to Meghan. She went on MasterChef Australia. And it is what it is. Let me show you guys a few things that Meghan did on MasterChef. I haven't seen it, so we both are going to be watching it for the first time together. Okay. Now, not TMZ, but Page 6 has been reporting on Meghan lately, and I don't think they're impressed, Page 6, at all. They said that it was a disaster. Prince Harry cringe phone call to Meghan Markle on MasterChef. Why are you calling your wife? Why are you FaceTiming her while she on TV? Can someone make that make sense to me? Why is he FaceTiming her? Sorry, I took a quick break to get me something to drink and some candy. Candy, candy, candy. What happened?
Oh no, she's done it again. Meghan Markle has just.
Oh, hold on, hold on. You guys didn't see it. Let's go back up.
We've had a phone call to studio.
You got a phone call. Look how she looking. Scared? What is he doing on the phone? Hi, my love. She knows she ain't in love with Harry. She's on Master Chef, okay? And her hubadoo decided he was going to do a FaceTime while she's on TV. Now, my husband loves me, okay? I know he does. I love you too, honey. And today, when I talked to him on the phone, he said, babe, are you going live? I said, yes. He said, I will join and watch you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But now one time did he say he was going to call me and interfere in my live. Okay? How rude. Hi, honey. What is Harry doing calling in to her show while she's working, trying to make some money for the family? Make it make sense. Yeah, it's so fake. It's so fake. That's what makes it fake and rude. Like, why are you calling me during this show? And then it was just so fake. Obviously, Harry, you're not the star of the show today. Your wife is. And now you didn't bogarted your way in. It's weird. Oh boy, let's see.
Hi, my husband's here.
My husband's here.
Hi. I want you to meet the judges. Here we go. Oh my gosh.
What's going on? Have I interrupted something important?
Well, we are actually in the middle of tasting all of the dishes. We have 4 incredible cooks here.
That was Prince Harry virtually crashing Meghan Markle's recent guest judge appearance on MasterChef Australia. That surprise was saved for the very end of the episode. Harry appeared in the final 10 minutes, while Meghan and the other judges were tasting the final dishes. Harry apologized for the interruption, saying he was sorry to disturb the taping. Some fans called the interaction sweet, while others called it so staged, an absolute cringe. But
because Meghan told him to call in. She told him, she said, call in. Yeah, she said, call in. Harry, I need you to call in and pretend that you're calling in and you don't know where I'm at. And yeah, everybody wants to see you. She needs the royal link of the prince. Exactly, Snowdrop. Well, Eric can come up to the panel if he can handle the Fanadoos. Eric, can you handle the Fanadoos? Those people need to get out more if they're getting that excited seeing what? Some kind of tuck. Tuck. Yep, they do need to get out more, Marine. I agree with you 100%. They act like they ain't never seen a man before. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, let's see what else. Cringe-a-doo.
Before Meghan's MasterChef Australia episode even aired, reports came out that there were tensions between Markle and one of the show's judges. According to Sky News, an on-set request the Duchess made while filming left beloved MasterChef judge Po Ling Yao upset. The episode was taped earlier this year, and Yao accidentally introduced Markle as royalty during the appearance. Po Ling Yao said the show, quote, had MasterChef royalty in the kitchen before, but no one like this. But according to Sky News, Markle and her team insisted producers not claim she's royalty. The show went on to introduce her formally as the Duchess of Sussex. Australia is part of the British Commonwealth, and
it's always some stuff with her. She can't ever just go somewhere and let it be and not make a fuss over anything. Why did y'all even invite her? Quit inviting her. Of course, Andrea. Black. Beautiful name. And thanks for being a member. So, basically what we're saying is that everywhere Meghan goes, she creates chaos, energy, and is always saying something or doing something that is, well, how am I want to say it? Disruptive. Not going with the flow. Like she had an issue at the Kardashians' party. She made a big deal out of that. I'm not royalty. Tell them to take the royalty out. Any other day, she would be telling them to put the royalty in there. I'm royalty. She's a weirdo dude. Oh, the difference. Meghan makes a spectacle out of everything. Oh, okay, let me look it up. And Robin Hood. Oh, Snap-a-Doolittle. This is Harry number 2. Oh my God. By addressing me as Duchess. You can call me Duchess of Sussex, but don't call me royalty. My goodness gracious. You can't take the girl nowhere, okay? You can't. You can't take the girl nowhere. She is not capable.
Markle lost access to her Royal Highness title when she stepped down as senior working member of the royal family. Markle was reportedly left very frustrated by MasterChef Australia introducing her as a royal, which then upset Judge Po Ling Yao. The insider claims it wasn't about Markle personally, but said Yao felt she was being dragged into a royal protocol issue she didn't want to be a part of. An insider said Yao tried to tell some jokes to lift the mood on set, but said not all of it landed as she intended. The report says a lot of those moments were cut out of the final edit of the show.
Don't invite her anymore, okay? Quit inviting Meghan and she won't upset the masses. Okay? She upsets the masses. She upsets everyone.
We've had a phone call to studio.
Hi, love.
Get out of the way.
Hi. My husband's here. Hi. I want you to meet the judges.
Maybe this is all part of a plan.
Prince Harry's plan to keep his late mom, Princess Diana's memory alive by bringing his kids to her gravesite.
Harry was her little boy. He was her little prince.
Eagle-eyed fans caught the reveal in Harry's wife, Meghan Markle's latest photo dump from their summer trip to the UK. Check out this photo.
I know I'm not very good at combing Little Bit's hair. I'm not the best hair comber. I'm not good at combing Little Bit's hair. But I know how to put it in a ponytail. And I know how to at least do that much. But why doesn't she do anything with her daughter's hair? Where are the bows at? And she's always in a dress. Like, if I was a little girl always in dresses, that would get on my nerve. How is she supposed to get on the swing? And how is she supposed to be active in wearing a dress all the time? I don't get it. And, oh, there's her brother way up there in the blue with some flowers in his hand. So Meghan she wanted to share the photos of the kids, which to me is an intimate moment, going to Diana's gravesite. But guess who you didn't get to see while you were there? Oh, yep, Catherine and William and his kids. It's a shame they won't get to know their cousins. It's a shame. Meghan Markle has the ability to piss on every barbecue she's invited to. That's right, Marine. Comment of the day. Oh, and one of the video photos, Archie doesn't have a whole thumb. Duchess Delulu, as Heather would call her. Duchess Delulu.
The couple's 5-year-old daughter, Lilibet, walking in nature at what appears to be Althorpe, Diana's family estate where she grew up and where she's buried. Ahead of her, Harry and Lily's big brother, 7-year-old Archie, who was carrying a bouquet of flowers, which many took as a sign they paid their respects to their late grandmother, who died in a car crash in Paris when Harry was just 12 years old.
I want it to be a day to share the spirit of my mum with my family, with my children who I wish could have met.
Elsewhere in Meghan's dump, many reasons to smile, including time in the pool, at the beach, enjoying the outdoors, and even a trip to an airplane cockpit for Archie.
We are so fortunate, and we're all here to support each other, which is icing on the cake. Yeah.
Prince William exploded, and can you blame him? Absolutely not. By releasing pictures.
Now, I don't know what he's talking about. We all knew that Meghan was going to be releasing pictures. And Dan Wooden is saying that William is furious at the thought of her releasing pictures. I don't think that William gives a dang about what Meghan does at this point. He knows she's a grifter. He knows that she's going to be showing photos and leaking out the visit They already said they had a miserable time when they were there. Well, you should have kept yourself at home. She's never happy. She's an unsatisfiable person. Impossible to satisfy. Impossible to make happy.
Of Archie and Lily at Althorpe with flowers about to visit Princess Diana's grave for the first time. This couple who had stooped to disgusting lows in their past, I personally believe hit a new one. And the reason that Prince William is so concerned about this, of course, is that it's just the beginning. Do not be deluded to believe that Harry and Meghan do not have a whole year to slowly but surely commercialize the 30th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana. Yes, it's gross and grim, but this couple are increasingly desperate and they need money. And where is the money going to come from? We know it's from a likely Netflix documentary. I believe it will end up on Netflix, being filmed at the Althorpe estate. And let me be clear, that is not me suggesting that there were big fat camera crews there, because Meghan and Harry are far too smart for that, far too crafty to be accused of that.
Welcome
but
back,
the footage
CC.
is all here. It's all you need. It's all Netflix needed for the documentary. As long as they have enough material on their mobile phones.
Exactly, it's so private.
It is very likely that Netflix or another streaming service potentially, of course it has to be offered to Netflix first, will pay out the big bucks. So then we get to Rob Shooting's new reporting over Prince William's reaction to that. He also alleges that King Charles is even shocked. Well, I'm not sure how shocked King Charles is, to be honest, given he's made this offer for Prince Harry to stay at Buckingham Palace. I think these days Charles just ignores what Harry's doing because he doesn't want to know the reality of quite how low his son, his youngest, has stooped. This is Shooter's reporting. Meghan Markle's latest Instagram post has sparked one of the fiercest royal backlashes in recent memory. With insiders telling Naughty But Nice, the controversy has left Prince William furious and even King Charles stunned. The image shows Prince Harry, Archie and Lily walking towards flowers, with many royal watchers believe it is Princess Diana's final resting place at Althorpe that they are heading to. Harry and Meghan never identified the location, but that hasn't stopped an avalanche of criticism. This has upset people who normally defend Meghan. One royal insider tells Naughty But Nice, backlash isn't just coming from her critics anymore. For many, the issue isn't that the Sussexes may have visited Diana's grave. It's that what appeared to be an intensely private family moment was seemingly shared with the world. Diana's grave has always been treated as a place of quiet reflection, says another palace source. If that's where this photo was taken, many believe it never belonged on social media. Sources say Prince William is devastated but not surprised. William has always been fiercely protective of his mother's memory. He's upset, but sadly he's no longer shocked by anything Harry and Meghan do. Even King Charles, who has largely avoided weighing in publicly on Sussex controversies, is said to be taken aback. The King is genuinely shocked, another royal source reveals. Even people who usually refuse to comment on Harry and Meghan are wincing. The feeling is that some family moments are simply too sacred to share. Brittany from the Royal News Network joins me now. The thing is, Brittany, actually, I don't believe the royal briefing anymore. Oh, the king is shocked, the king is horrified. Well, he's clearly not, is he? Because he's just about to let these two into Buckingham Palace. And as much as they may have made good on the promise not to share any pictures from Highgrove, I still believe that the king is taking a massive risk, because just because they haven't shared those pictures in this batch, it doesn't mean that it won't come in future. Actually, I think the awful pictures were far more insensitive to share than anything that would taken at Highgrove anyway. So for me, King Charles needs to know
what Harry and Meghan are about. I think he probably does, and he's accepted it. He understands that he can't change them. He also understands that he needs them to make their own money because he can't afford to open his wallet. You know, he can't afford to bankroll their lifestyle. So I think he's sort of on board with it. As for Prince William, of course he is disgusted because this is one of his, how do you put it, Brittany, real sensitive spots. Like, yes, he does ignore Harry day to day. He doesn't want to talk about Harry. He doesn't want to talk about Meghan. He just wants to get on with things. But we know, Brittany, that at the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's death, and it really is worth mentioning this, he made those documentaries with Harry, which must have been a nightmare for him because their relationship at that point was pretty strained anyway, even though none of that had actually come out in public at that time. But he made 2 documentaries with Harry, one for the BBC, one for ITV. It was on the strict understanding that these were to be the final word on their mother's death. 20 years on, 2 brothers who had come through the trauma were able to talk about it, were able to share their feelings and close the chapter. And so, of course, 10 years on, the fact that Harry is now back here commercializing his mother's death is going to upset William. But Brittany, I don't think it surprises him. I think he knew this was coming, don't you? If you value the whole truth and nothing but the truth on these royal stories, make sure you subscribe to Outspoken right now. It allows me to...
Incredibly disrespectful and ugly. And now they're most likely going to mine the death of Diana for their own personal gain. I mean, there's nothing more ghoulish than this, really, to be honest. I think we all can understand that Diana should just rest. And I just found it so incredibly disrespectful and ugly of Meghan, whose mother-in-law died, most likely seeing camera flashes as the last images of her life, being photographed by her grandchildren, being photographed by her daughter-in-law going to her grave. Like the whole camera aspect of this, yes, there were no flashes, but the whole camera aspect of that, and how Diana, of course, so much of her life was defined by cameras. I think the last thing she would want are cameras at her grave. I think William completely and utterly respects that. Everything William and his family have done at Althorpe has been completely and utterly private. I don't even think we're aware of a trip they've made there. And I think that's perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong also as well with Harry and Meghan visiting. But commercializing it, I mean, that should just be a glaring warning sign to Charles that Harry and Meghan have no boundaries. They're willing to commercialize anything to make money because Meghan has very, very expensive taste. And unfortunately, she married quite a dim man who can't actually make money at the end of the day. Who would have thunk it? But she thought he could make money, he can't, and so they're just going to mine Harry's family until the end of time where Meghan finally finds a richer man to marry, and that's just so incredibly squeamish and ugly and disgusting, but that is Harry and Meghan. They literally have no scruples here. They have no morals in this situation.
No, they don't. And I mean, Brittany, the irony for me, just to pick up on your point, is I think they could have made money, but to do so, they would have had to not be focused on vengeance. And the problem is, their launch in Hollywood was so focused on vengeance, so focused on bringing down the British royal family, there was absolutely no thought-out strategic plan about, well, what happens if it doesn't work? What happens if the royal family continues and gets stronger? Then where are we going to be left? So, I mean, I think probably if they had just shut up, right? Shut up, sort of Duke of Windsor, Wallace Simpson style, released a very banal book about the British royal family, hadn't done the Oprah lies, hadn't done the Netflix attacks, hadn't written Spare, probably there would have been people who were prepared to just write them checks to do nothing.
Yeah.
But because they are now so toxic,
right
they're not going to make money. And you have more evidence of that, Brittany. The collapse of Was Never.
Right there, what Dan Wooden just said. You know, they had the opportunity to have checks just written to them, on just writing all kinds of checks to these two for no reason, just for being the Duchess of Sussex and the Duke of Sussex. But they created such a bad reputation for themselves that nobody is on board with these two. They put their own selves in this situation. Their own self in this bad situation.
Or as Lady Colin Campbell calls it, revealing, Brittany, in this new report that the follow account of As Ever is declining again. And you say this is not a surprise. Posted on X, Meghan herself seems to have forgotten about her Instagram during the summer holiday, and she's running an ad for something she does not have in stock. I mean, this is like business 101 failure, okay? You write, if this is going to be their main source of income, she needs to figure out how to make it work. And then, Brittany, you get the new Instagram picture over the weekend, which Harry, Meghan Spare pointed out, sure, Meg, when did you take this photo? Wearing a sweater in the middle of summer. And again, it's like, what's that about? What's she trying to tell us here? So it's fascinating to me, Brittany, that the summer photo dump, which is designed to then bring people to her Instagram, get people interested in As Ever again, according to your statistics, Brittany, isn't actually working because you say people are actually unsubscribing rather than subscribing. It seems to be having the opposite effect, Brittany.
It is. As Ever has been interesting to watch because I think it's gotten as high as 886,000. And then before her rebrand and relaunch, it dipped down to 879 or 78,000, almost to 877, then jumped back up to 886. Now it's back down again. And it has stayed within this like couple thousand range. It's not really growing. And the thing is, Harry and Meghan have seemingly designed this company, maybe potentially, or see it as their only cash cow because it is their only cash cow anymore because Netflix is gone, Spotify is gone, the publishing deal is probably gone, maybe they're working on something. But if this company is going to be what brings in the moolah, they need to be living and breathing it every single day. That's what I do with my business. I'm sure that's what you do with your business as well. To grow a new business, you have to be like so incredibly focused on it. It doesn't seem like Meghan is at all. She has the same products. The only thing she releases is like new variations of the same product. Like there's no innovation to this brand. It comes across as completely and utterly stagnant. We know she has an insane amount of overstock in her inventory. It's not moving. It's not selling. You don't hear anybody talking about this brand. Like she tried to claim on MasterChef that it was.
You don't hear anybody talking about As Ever. My mom, hey, Tisha, are you going to go out and get some of Meghan's brand stuff, her candles and her jam? Nobody is talking about this lifestyle brand that she's got going on. Let's continue.
It's great artisanal products. Like, I don't think so, Meghan Markle. This is, I've tasted most of your stuff. It's bad. So,
and that's not being funny. That's the truth. It wasn't good. I ordered some, and the raspberry was sucky doo. The strawberry was probably the one that was tolerable, and the marmalade sucks. So marmalade, whatever. It sucked. Her products aren't producting. They're cheap. The quality of it is cheap. Yeah, it's disgusting.
At this point, if they want to make a go of this, Meghan actually needs to try here. And she still, I think, is just thinking that, oh, with the Duchess title, it'll sell. But I see a lot of Instagram ads, and I don't think it's helping anything. She needs to sell off all this inventory and rethink her entire company because this is just not working.
Brittany, you also made a point in terms of the Althorpe imagery that there is something quite deeply twisted about it when you think about photography and the final moments of Princess Diana's life, which is something that for a long time Prince Harry really invoked as something that did drive his, for example, anti-paparazzi campaign, I guess you would say. So I just want to share what you wrote, and then I'll get you to explain it a little bit more, Brittany. But you posted on X, as ever, Meghan Markle takes what should be a solemn and private family moment and exploits it for clicks and money. It's so incredibly disgusting, and I can't help but imagine Prince William would be incensed. There's nothing wrong with them visiting Diana's grave, but why did she have to disrespect Harry and her children by posting about it? This is a woman who's claimed for years that all she wants for her family is privacy, and then she commoditizes her children and the memory of her deceased mother-in-law for the world to see. This, perhaps more than anything else, exposes what a hypocrite and liar Meghan is. It also reveals the disdain she has for her mother-in-law, who is everything she isn't. Probably the last thing in the world Diana saw was the flashes of the camera, and now here is her daughter-in-law trampling on her memory with a camera in tow for her own greed. William has and would never do anything this crass, but that's who Harry married. He married a woman who cares nothing for him, his pain, or the memory of a woman who would probably have despised her. Meghan's always been about the clicks, and this revolting picture is absolute proof of that. And Brittany, I thought that was just such a fascinating post. Thank you for writing it, because it got me thinking, Harry must never feel safe when Meghan is around, because if he knew that she was snapping away, and they were personal moments that the world was never going to see, maybe he'd be okay with that. But given the so-called deep trauma that he has spoken about all the time in regards to camera flashes, there is a great irony now that the real woman who he needs to be the real thing he needs to be protected from is his own woman, who's constantly flashing away.
But first, the UK government is planning to shut down this channel. I'm not exaggerating or scaremonger.
To subscribe to Outspoken on the...
It's so true, Dan. I think Meghan is constantly taking pictures, and Harry, in some instances, might think these are just innocent pictures my wife wants to take. However, I think Harry might find at some point in divorce proceedings that Meghan Markle was building a case against him for either custody of the kids, more money, what have you, the entire time. Meghan is constantly following around taking pictures. And again, I photograph royals for a living as well. I take a lot of pictures. I enjoy that. But at the same time, like there's a time and a place for things. And I think Meghan is doing everything with clicks in mind. What will get the clicks? What will generate the interest? That's why the kids, the game with the kids, and Meghan knows as well, the game with the kids that she plays fuels negative talk about her children online, and yet she continues to do it. She continues to exploit her kids and throw them up to the wolves in order to kind of move and grow her Instagram in some sort of way. And it's just pretty disgusting. And I think, again, proves who Meghan Markle really is. She's just shallow, vain, and vapid. It's all about the Instagram clicks, all about the follows for her. She cares nothing really for her husband, his trauma, the death of his mother, anything like that, or even her own children. They are all there for her personal exploitation for money and cash and following and influence and these sorts of things. And Harry, if he was...
Joining me now is host of the Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered podcast, Kinsey Schofield herself. Nice to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Look, we've got to start with Meghan Markle. She's made her long-awaited appearance on MasterChef Australia over the weekend, and during the show she received a surprise video call from her husband Prince Harry. Have a look at this.
Hi, my husband's here. Hi. I want you to meet the judges.
What's going on? Have I interrupted something?
Well, we are actually in the middle of tasting all of the dishes. We have 4 incredible cooks here.
Cringe, Kinsey, as if the whole episode couldn't get a lot worse. Then Prince Harry has to even phone in.
Why did you not prepare me for that jump scare?
Sorry.
I know. That was a lot of face. That was a lot of forehead from Prince Harry. Call me cynical, but I don't believe for a second that Prince Harry just happened to FaceTime Meghan Markle while the cameras were rolling. I think we've watched Meghan operate long enough to know that very little about the presentation of brand Meghan is accidental. She's a total control freak, if I'm being like the nicest way I could possibly say.
She's a control freak. Everything has to go her way or it's the highway. Okay? She controls everything. Just like she's all, oh, I am not royalty. I'm just the Duchess of Sussex. So don't call me that. Getting upset over something so stupid. Snowdrop. My husband.
But that gives producers a cute television moment. But more importantly, it reminds everybody why Meghan is ultimately there in the first place, because of who she married. Otherwise, what qualifies her to be on that show in that position?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, she has absolutely zero qualifications other than just having made.
What makes her so qualified to be on MasterChef? Is she on MasterChef because she is from Suits? Is she on MasterChef because she did that soap commercial back in the day? Huh.
Made an appearance in a television series once, and well, that was a flop, and everything she's done since has been an absolute flop. But you're right, it was a bit of a jump scare. Now, look, it's been revealed that Harry and Meghan also visited Princess Diana's childhood home in Althorpe during their recent trip abroad. She hid their faces, but Meghan has actually shared some photos of Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie during that trip. Well, Kinsey, the worldwide privacy tour just continues.
Yeah, this is where I struggle with Meghan's, Meghan's position on not sharing images of your children online and taking her seriously as an authority in that place. These aren't photographs taken by paparazzi hiding behind a hedge. Someone is photographing Harry tossing Lilibet in the swimming pool, Meghan sunbathing, intimate family moments, a picture of her standing on the beach. Who was that guy? The way that she's standing there in her bathing suit reminds me of Borat when he's in the neon bathing suit. You can't continuously monetize glimpses of your private family and then act astonished that the public is interested in your private life. Apparently, privacy means nobody else can take photographs, but Meghan's photographer is perfectly acceptable.
Oh, absolutely. Well, she is the ultimate hypocrite. After all, it's all very acceptable. And yeah, I did see the comparisons with her bathing suit, even some to like Princess Diana, but at least Princess Diana looked lovely in hers. Now, Kinsey, there's a bit of concern that Harry Styles might be burning himself out on the world tour. This is quite worrying because he was forced to cancel a gig in Brazil this week due to tour illness. What's going on here?
Well, the headline should be that Harry Styles missed one show. The remarkable thing is how many shows he's managed to pull off at this level. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was joking that Harry Styles, was running 6 miles through London before entertaining 90,000 people at Wembley. Apparently, even somebody capable of doing that needs to take a nap every now and then, needs to a sick day. But he's done incredible things, sold out 12.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Hi, my husband's here. Hi. I want you to meet the judges. Oh my gosh.
What's going on? Have I interrupted something important?
Well, we are actually in the middle of tasting all of the dishes. We have 4 incredible cooks here.
Oh, cringe, Kinsey, as if the whole episode couldn't get a lot worse. And Prince Harry has to even phone in.
Why did you not prepare me for that jump scare?
Sorry.
Royal plans. I was reading this. This whole Harry came back, and I'd love you in on this as well, please, Pops. Harry came back. There was all that arguing about security. Then we had this sort of undercover visit to Highgrove House, where Camilla was there with the pursed top lip, quite rightly too. And then he and the dreadful one went back to wherever they've come from. Apparently, in the news today, King Charles will offer Prince Harry a room at Buckingham Palace when he returns to the UK in the coming weeks. What does that mean, and why is he coming back? And is he coming on his own, and why should I care?
He's coming for the Well Child Awards. I believe he is coming back by himself. Here's the thing. I recently heard that Prince William made it abundantly clear that Harry and Meghan cannot be offered accommodation at Windsor Castle. And I think that that's important because it tells us that there's not even an inch of thawing happening between the brothers. He doesn't want to risk an unexpected encounter with Harry, especially Meghan, on what he considers his family's home turf. And the reason why I thought that this was so interesting is, do you remember the reports a few years ago that Harry and Meghan had actually asked to live in Windsor Castle?
Yeah.
So if they were offered Windsor Castle to stay when they visit in the UK, that would be considered a bit of a win for them, because we know that
I visited the Windsor Castle when I was in the UK, and it was huge and big, and I mean, like, one of the rooms were just, like, the ceilings were insatiably tall, and it was beautiful. Meghan just wants the perks and the accolades and everything that goes along with being a royal. But she doesn't want to be a part of she doesn't want to be, excuse me, I lost my thought.
Personally approached Queen Elizabeth, and she said, no, I live in Windsor Castle. I don't want you to live in Windsor Castle. You guys can have Frogmore Cottage. So
she wanted to live where the Queen was? Make that make sense.
It's my understanding that Prince William has put his foot down.
What was she going to do? Kick the Queen out? I know that's not true. I know there's like departments, like apartments, not apartments, but like different sections of the Windsor Castle. Like wing 1, wing 2, wing 3, wing 4. Like, it's a lot of space in the Windsor Castle. But could you imagine running into Meghan? No. Uh-oh. Hold on, I'm messing up here.
Down and said, I don't want them anywhere near Windsor. If I stumble upon him, I wouldn't even acknowledge him. Is Buckingham Palace a downgrade? I don't think it's necessarily a downgrade. If this offer is confirmed, he would once again be staying inside one of the most recognizable royal residences in the world.
But you see, why is it that all of me, and I'd love your opinion on this, Poppy, all of me thinks this is all for their brand, this is all about a few clicks. You are both part of a couple who said that the monarchy is racist and everything about it is fundamentally wrong. Why, Poppy, then? And Kins and I have spoken about this so much. Would he take a room within an institution that he hates so much? Because he's a two-faced liar, that's what he is.
I think, I'm not completely across the royal story, but I imagine he probably wants to have some kind of relationship still with the royal family, because I don't know if Harry is 100% correct in his mind and he wants to stay in America forever. So isn't this his way of trying to keep the door open in some respect?
Yeah, but why should we allow him to keep the door open when he's slagged everything off about the royal family? Unless he's worked out his wife is a witch and he wants out.
Well, I think that's probably the question that you then have to ask the royal family. Like, are they completely shutting the door on him after everything that's happened? The fact that he's continuing to try and appeal this bizarre, vendetta he has against British media is not really a sign that he's learning and moving on from this stuff, is it?
It's very true, that, isn't it, Kins? To be fair, the whitewash job. It just sits badly with me. It sits better with me if he stood up to his wife and said, "This is where I come from. This is what I believe in. You're going to be a part of this. You might not like it," but he ran out of this country and slagged everything off, and now seems to want to come back. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. He's using presumably the argument that he wants a relationship with his father, which I guess you'd understand. His father's living with some form of cancer. I just don't see it ending well. Sorry.
Well, I think, if you're cynical like me, like you, this creates a very different picture of Harry's relationship with the monarchy than we've seen in the last several years. And that's why some of us, some royal observers, are urging caution. No one seriously suggesting a father shouldn't see his son or his grandchildren, shouldn't see, or his grandchildren. The grandfather shouldn't see his grandchildren. The concern is whether private reconciliation eventually becomes a pathway towards the half-in, half-out arrangement that Harry and Meghan originally wanted. The late Queen rejected that model very clearly, so the palace will hopefully be conscious of keeping family reconciliation separate from any suggestion of an official royal return. However, the optics make it look like Harry's back in the game. If you've got shots of him coming in and out of Buckingham Palace, there are, perception is reality. And the people that threw money at him to disparage his family, like Netflix and Spotify, that's all they're saying. Harry, back in the fold.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I was going to, if you don't mind, Pops as well, I was thinking, because you're from America, well done, Jez, I wanted to read you two stories. You're not prepared for this, but you live in Trump's America, and I would like to know what the American president would do with these two stories. Because this, Kims...
All right. Well, guys, I think we did the Master Chef-a-do.
What's up, winners? First, let's check out this horrible footage of Meghan on Prince Harry. What's up, winners? First, let's check out this horrible footage of Meghan on MasterChef, but then you're not going to believe what happened with her and Catherine. Oh my gosh.
A lot of pressure in this kitchen. I don't like to cook that way. I like to cook in a really relaxed habit. So all I can say to the competitors is just remember to have fun, keep a sense of humor about it, and just during a tour of the pantry.
Me, I'm just so relaxed. This is the face of someone who's really relaxed. I'm just always relaxed. And me, I just don't care what anyone thinks of me. This is high pressure, but just enjoy yourself while I judge you. Oh my.
Some edible flowers.
Oh my, she's so corny.
What the heck is that?
Silly. Oh, she has a great PR machine, though. Okay, look at the expression. It's really lovely. Just so I don't even know what to describe it as. It's so weird.
I think it's such a great way to connect. It's something that can feel sentimental and meaningful, and it's how I.
She's such word salad.
Love for my friends, family, and my kids.
You don't have any friends.
It's just like her typical. Whenever she's cooking, just always trying too hard.
Friends and family.
What was that expression? Oh my, that was really weird. Again, the typical Meghan. She can go from smiling to grimacing at someone in a split second. Now, guys, this was crazy. Credit to Reddit for this. I had no idea. This is from an article. Okay, Meghan appeared. She's about to appear. The episode's going to release. But Meghan filmed the episode in around April. Sometime in April. In March of 2026 is when Princess Catherine said that she was a big fan of MasterChef Australia. How crazy is that? And we've seen this repeatedly. When there is a holiday, when Catherine or William or the kids take a picture, anything, that's when Meghan releases something.
Right.
It's just psychotic, allegedly. I just can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Yeah, the beekeeping, great point. But I didn't know about this.
What's up? Hey, Duty Burn. I pray this audio from the boat is going to be...
Oh, no, she's done it again. Meghan
wide
Markle has
open.
just made the judge of Australian MasterChef, a household
agree.
name, beloved figure in Australia, Ho Ling Yao, cry during filming.
Oh!
All of this shocking information, including these pictures showing that vile look, the type of look that she used to shoot at Catherine and Prince Harry all the time, just days before the airing of the show, which was meant to be a big moment for the fake Duchess. But Harry, Meghan's spare pointed
You're
out
fine,
Meghan, the bully,
Bird. You're
Markle
good.
strikes again. This time, the latest person caught in the crossfire is Pauline Yao. It seems Meghan is back to throwing her weight around as though she's the one calling all the shots. How many bullying allegations does this make? I've lost count. And actually, Ms. Booch said, oh my God, I think the magazine that said Meghan made poor Poe cry is believable because holy shit, someone caught a shot of her mask slip at Poe and M.
That's
looked
crazy.
pissed. And here is the reporting from New Idea. And I have to say, New Idea gets a bad rap. It's a magazine I've known a long time. Big deal down under. And it gets a bad rap, but actually its reporting in this case was very fair. They were not being particularly sensationalist, but they do reveal that things were so bad that the producers had to step in several times with behind-the-scenes sources revealing that while things looked picture perfect on screen, tensions were simmering beneath the surface. A bit like her spread, I guess. According to New Ideas insiders, the dynamics on set didn't always match what viewers will see in the final edit. Several of the contestants frequently gravitated towards Judge Pauline Yao for reassurance and feedback rather than focusing solely on Meghan as the headline guest. That's according to a spy on the show. It was a bit awkward at times. This source insisted you could tell Meghan was wondering what was going on. But they haven't just spoken to one person, so this isn't just a disgruntled anti-Markle member of the cast, because a second insider adds that there was an early expectation that Meghan would be the central focus of the day, but the reality on set was even more uneven. So basically, the contestants clearly loved this judge far more than they loved Meghan, and Meghan didn't like that. So the source said that the producers stepped in several times to keep filming on track. After all, Meghan is one of the biggest international guests the show has ever secured, so it was important she be a key part of the episode. But New Ideas reporting continued. Perhaps the most uncomfortable moment came after the cameras stopped rolling when promotional material touting Meghan's upcoming appearance saw Poe introducing her as royalty. And you'll remember the reporting was that her team were frustrated about that, and they were outside the studio when the introduction happened, and Poe was upset because she didn't realise that by using the word royalty, she'd gone against Meghan's wishes. And you can't blame her, can you, given the actual feature of the show, which Meghan's team had all signed off, was a segment called A Dish Fit for a Duchess. The source says it wasn't about Meghan personally. Poe felt she had been unintentionally drawn into a royal protocol issue she never intended to be a part of. Different insiders shared a lighter observation about Poe's personality on set, saying Poe is full of energy, she's always joking and lifting the mood. She tried to bring that same spark with Meghan, cracking a few playful lines, but not all of it landed as intended.
Wow.
It's difficult, isn't it, if you're a kind woman and you're dealing with a woman-hating bitch.
Yeah.
Some of those moments didn't quite translate on camera, so they ended up on the cutting room floor. It's just her way of keeping things light, even when the pressure is on. Despite the awkward moments and behind-the-scenes pressure, sources insist there was no major conflict, describing the day as a typical high-stakes television production. It wasn't major drama, just a few awkward moments during filming that were adjusted in the final edit. That's what you call a PR desperately trying to not lie to one of their journalistic contacts while also acknowledging that something very bad had gone on. Their final line added that Meghan was a great guest, and we feel very lucky that she agreed to appear on the show. But of course, Meghan couldn't just leave it at that. She couldn't just accept, okay, there was some bad behaviour, Poe ended up upset. No. She has had to turn this now into an international omni-shambles, with her people immediately rushing to one of her favourite publications, Page 6, in the New York Post, and insisting that Poe was wrong to be upset. And this is the problem, isn't it? Are you a woman that believes in the validity of other women's feelings, or are you someone that actually thinks you're always right? Because this source close to Meghan Markle told Page 6 that the Duchess and Poe actually had a great time together on set. The source added there was no frustration on Meghan's side about anything that was said on set. Oh, really?
Wow.
Really? Are you sure? Because Poe doesn't seem to think so. And as the Royal News Network pointed out, yikes, this already sounds like a train wreck for Meghan. And she also, Brittany of the Royal News Network, also pointed out that this choice of thumbnail by Channel 10 News, remember Channel 10 is the broadcaster airing this show on Sunday night in Australia, seems rather fitting. Meghan's expression is so incredibly forced and teetering on manic. And the problem is this isn't just a one-off. As Milano pointed out, once a bully, always a bully isn't
Always
that right.
a bully.
And Milano has produced a quite astonishing video which reveals that over a long period of time, across multiple continents, multiple countries, there have been a long, long list of Meghan's victims.
Wow.
And you remember, I'm very personally close to this because I was the first.
Meghan's victims, the path of her victims. I would love to see that video that he's talking about, referring to.
Person to ever reveal the fallout between Meghan Markle and Catherine, the Princess of Wales. This was way back in 2018 when no one knew
The Sussex
any of this
Survivors
publicly.
Club.
Only people within the royal family knew
Surviving
the way that Meghan was
Meghan.
going on about people within the British royal family. And Catherine had turned on Meghan Markle specifically because of the way that she was bullying staff within the grounds of Kensington Palace. Of course, at the time, you saw Meghan try and say that this was all part of a witch hunt and was courtiers working against her with people like me. But indeed, as soon as she moved to Hollywood, we...
Yeah, oh God, they are rolling. Okay, first she
Well, the same thing
was
with-
a bully as the Duchess of Sussex and the castle. They called her he just said it. This is so good. He's going down the list of her being a bully, her job, demon dictator, Sophie, the courtiers. Who wasn't she bullying? Sophie is suing them.
with astonishing reports coming from Vanity Fair and Hollywood Reporter, and then the
Vanity Fair, Hollywood Reporter, saying that she's a loser, her popularity is in the trash.
damning accusations from Dr. Sophie Chandoka of the Centre Bali organisation, which are now due to be heard in court. That's before you get to Valentine Lowe in his book Courtiers. Remember, he is the reporter that actually revealed the HR documentation between senior palace officials, revealing that there had been a number of HR complaints as a result of Meghan Markle's bullying of people, including PAs, that they were wanting to investigate. So the question posed by Milano is whether this behaviour has been enabled by Prince Harry over a long period of time. Well, I would argue, yes, of course it has. Others close.
Of course it has. Harry puts up with it. He allows it to go down, and he allows her to mistreat other people.
To Harry would say, well, maybe he's a victim of the bullying too.
Yeah.
But what is quite astonishing.
He could be a victim of the bullying as well. I do believe that.
As Milano points out here, is that someone
Sorry.
who constantly talks about online bullying is actually one of the biggest bullies in the
She's
world
the biggest
and
bully
has
in
a
the
whole
world.
network of bullies operating on her behalf as part of the Sussex Squad.
Hello, happy
So there I
life.
present the evidence. Now let me bring in royal author Lady Colin Campbell.
Lady T, Lady C.
If this was a one-off situation, you'd think, oh, maybe these two just had a personality clash, right? I mean, I don't know this Poe, okay? I don't know Poe. Maybe she's a bit of a cow
I
too.
saw that.
That isn't my understanding, Lady C. She seems to be an incredibly popular figure in Australia. And given Meghan's track record, I am inclined to believe that these sources to New Idea are correct. She was simply trying to make Meghan feel comfortable, trying to be warm, and you saw that look. Meghan hated her.
Look.
The latest bombshells from Harry and Meghan that the Montecito Mafia and the rest of the media are desperate to hide. Subscribe right now for the real story with zero spin and zero censorship.
Well, I actually think that Poe was somebody with a naturally more effervescent and ebullient personality than Meghan's, and that Meghan can't stand anybody who outstrips her in any way, shape, or form, and that she immediately had her competitive vibes and antennae up, and she was about to annihilate Poe and did everything she could to sort of discomfit her, so that, I mean, Dan, you are a part of the entertainment world. You know that there are many very effervescent people. And even if somebody is not naturally effervescent, they go along with the flow and it makes for a far more interesting and vital show. Well, Meghan made sure that that absolutely wasn't going to happen, because she wasn't going to have Poe outstrip her. So all of Poe's jokes evidently landed like thuds. And it's very easy to curdle milk. And Meghan curdles milk at the drop of a hat. And I think that's what was really happening. And as for the excuse that she was introduced as royalty, I mean, you and I both know that if Meghan had truly objected to that introduction, she could have very simply got them to redo the introduction. So, I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors and, as usual, a whole load of rubbish about nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but I think that's it in a nutshell.
Well, look, my belief, Lady C, is that this show actually contravenes the Sandringham Summit Agreement. And it was nothing to do with poor Poe saying royalty. It was to do with the fact that the entire challenge was called A Dish Fit for a Duchess. So there she is using her royal title. And my understanding, Lady C, is she wasn't doing this show for altruistic reasons. She was doing it for a big, fat paycheck from Channel 10.
Yes.
Now, her people and Channel 10 have not confirmed nor denied whether she was paid for this show. But Lady C, you know how this works. If this was a charitable project, if she was donating her fee, for example, to a particular organisation that she was passionate about, that would have been publicised. That would have been part of the TV show. So I believe she contravened the Sandringham Summit directly anyway by using her Duchess title in order to make money in the entertainment industry. So the fact poor Poe mentioned the word royalty is totally irrelevant to that. It's the use of the word and the term Duchess as part of a challenge in a reality TV show, which I think would have left the late Queen Elizabeth II completely horrified.
Oh, but let's also remember, Dan, that this was a part of a semi-official, almost state visit by these two pretentious pifflers who have no royal status anymore. And let's remember also that Harry has made it clear that they are working royals and that they've torn up the Sandringham Agreement. And he had started to make it clear while they were in Australia, while this was being filmed. So all of this it's their behavior synchronizes with not only bullying, but disrespecting the Sandringham Agreement and trying to revise it so that they will be allowed to use their royal status to make money. And Meghan and Harry are both great denialists. So at the very moment that they have their hand deep in your pocket, they're saying, oh, we're not thieves. No, we're massaging your leg. Now let's get to the wallet.
Wow.
Lady C, I'm so sorry that I hadn't mentioned this earlier, but I just thought, oh my goodness, Lady C's in hospital, and I just had to get through that story. But please tell me, this is for the new operation on your hip. Is that right? There's nothing more going.
It's done.
Oh, it's done. You've had it.
Done. I had a total hip replacement.
And how did it go?
Well, they're very pleased, but it's far more serious than just an ordinary hip replacement because of the damage that was done before.
All right, guys,
and so it's a lot more painful and it's a lot more arduous. But I tell you, compared to what happened.
Oh, Lady T is in the hospital. Get well soon, Lady C. You're looking fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you guys so much. Maureen, everyone, for your participation. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful live. And I will see you lovely people again tomorrow. And I should be coming up in the next day or two. I'm redoing my hair. So I'm in between hairstyles. Okay, guys? Oh, wow. Lady T, be careful out there. You're fragile. I want to thank my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, awesome moderators that are the best in the whole wide world. Danny thinks she has the best moderators. No, 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 Danny. I got the best moderators. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful one. Bye, Pickles. Bye, sweetheart. Pickles is also a moderator. Woohoo! Pickles got him a stick, a wrench. Is that tomorrow, Demon Dictator, or today at Heather's? Xanadu. Thank you for coming. Let's see. We will talk about the court case tomorrow. Okay, so we will be going over to Heather's tomorrow to talk about the court case. Woo woo! Guys, have a wonderful evening, day. Eat something good and fresh for me. Love you guys.